What's good, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It's your boy, the one and only King Trent TV, and I'm back for another video. And we're gonna talk about the NFL playoffs. I got my prediction. This is my NFL prediction for the playoffs. So, first off, I want to give out a shout out for the teams who made it and who fought hard to get this far and got this far to the playoffs and got into the playoffs. Shout out to the Steelers for beating my Ravens. It ended in heartbreaking fashion, but shout out to Pittsburgh. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to Shout out to Shout out to Jacksonville. Shout out to LA, the Chargers. Shout out to the Patriots. Shout out to the Denver Broncos. I think I said Jacksonville, right? I think I did say Jacksonville. And shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills as well. Now for my NFC side, shout out to Green Bay. Shout out to 49ers. Shout out to the Rams. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers, even though the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion, probably didn't deserve to get in the playoffs, because I feel like the Panthers get snuck in just because they got lucky by percentages wise. But shout out to them. Shout out to shout out to I forgot the other match. Shout out to the Chicago Bears. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. And shout out to the one-seeded Seattle Seahawks. Now, let's drop into this and let's talk about the playoff prediction. So, pretty much, the playoffs is here. 2025 and 26 playoffs is here. And I want to let y'all guys know that who I got going to the Super Bowl in 2026 this season. So let's start off for the bracket. Let's start off for the AFC matchups. Give me my 7 and 2 seeded Patriots. My 7 seeded Chargers. My 2 seeded New England Patriots. So the New England Patriots, I ain't gonna lie, Craig, the Patriots, they've been playing real good this year. The Chargers been playing real good too. But if I had to pick one who's going to advance, give me the New England Patriots at home this week. Give me the New England Patriots at home against the Chargers. I think the Patriots move on. So that's my 2 and 7 seeded teams in the AFC. Give me my 6. Give me my 6 and 3. My 6 and 3. You got Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Buffalo Bills. Is the Buffalo Bills ready to get on a playoff run? Think about Josh Allen. You don't have to run into Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen. You don't have to run into Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen. You might not even have to run in. You don't even have to run into Joe Burrow, because none of those teams are not in the playoffs. And this is a must win for the Bills. The Bills. This is a must playoff. This is a must playoff wins. The Bills gotta get to the Super Bowl. The Bills definitely gotta get to the Super Bowl. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, they're gonna be considered overrated. They're gonna be considered trash. And you gotta look at Josh Allen. If the much disrespect that Lamar Jackson get, you gotta look at Josh Allen on this one. This is probably worse than anything, because you don't have no threat. Really, not that much of a threat for the Buffalo Bills in these playoffs. But if I had to pick who's going to win, in Jacksonville, who's going to win out of Jacksonville and the Bills, I ain't gonna lie, Josh Allen is a monster in the playoffs. I have to go here and say that I have to go and sit there and say that the Buffalo Bills is going to beat Jacksonville on the road, because I feel like Buffalo is a more experienced team. They're a more experienced team, and I feel like that's going to work out. That's definitely going to work out in their favor. You know what I'm saying? Because it is more experienced team. So I got Buffalo moving on. Now let's talk about my 4 and 5 matchup. My 4 and 5 matchup is we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Houston Texans. Now, they said Mike Tomlin is undefeated on Monday nights, but he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. So, does he veil? Does it veil? Does Mike Tomlin gets the win since? Do he get his first playoff win since 2016? Does he get his first playoff win at home this week against the Houston Texans? Unfortunately, Pittsburgh fans, I know you probably gonna say that I'm not being realistic. I know you're gonna be mad at me because I'm a Ravens fan, but I don't give a fuck. This is actually more realistic. I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans on the road. I think the Houston Texans is gonna beat y'all. I definitely think the Houston Texans is gonna come out here and upset y'all boys on Monday Night Football. They gonna be one of those type of guys, man. They gonna upset y'all for sure. They gonna upset y'all. So yeah, I think that's gonna happen. Real talk. So pretty much, I think I got Houston. But I got Houston for sure. Now, my one, let me see. Yeah, I think that's the wild card round. Now let's talk about the divisional round for the AFC. The divisional round for the AFC. Well, actually, no. Before we hop in the divisional round, let's talk about the wild cards for the NFC real quick. Wild card round for the NFC. Give me my 7 and my 2 seeded. 7 and 2. So you got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears, and I want to let y'all guys know something. I want to let y'all guys know and say that I think the Bears win their first playoff game since 2018. I think the Bears get over the hump and beat Green Bay. I just don't know. I just don't trust Green Bay. Their defense, they lost. You know, in this game, I probably would have picked Green Bay if they had Micah Parsons on that defense, if their defense wasn't rattled with injuries. But I feel like the Bears is going to come out here with a statement and put the pack and show the world why they one of the best teams in the NFC, and they're going to probably put belt to ass on the Green Bay Packers. They probably is. Packers fans, bear with me. I know you're going to be mad, but I think the Bears is going to beat y'all at Soldier Field for sure. Now, my 3 and 6 seed. 49ers versus the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. I think in that game, I think that it's going to be a close game, of course. If I had to pick one who's going to win, I trust Philadelphia at home. I'm sorry, San Francisco fans. I'm sorry. I think the San Francisco 49ers will be getting sent home by the Philadelphia Eagles because I think the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is going to run all over that defense of the 49ers, and I think the Eagles is going to prevail here. Now, let's talk about my 5 and 4 matchup, which is the Panthers versus the Rams. The Rams, I ain't gonna lie, I got the Rams in a blowout. I think the Rams is going to shellac the Carolina Panthers. They're going to shellac them boys for sure. They're going to beat them for sure. I think the Carolina Panthers lose that game, and I think that's all I got for right now. Now, let's talk about the divisional round in the AFC. So that means, because I have the Bills winning, that means the Bills will go to Denver. Yeah, I had the Bills going to Denver. I have Houston going to New England. I ain't gonna lie, this is where things get dicey. Buffalo Bills at Denver. That's tough. I think that's a tough matchup for the Bills, because going on the road to play the Denver Broncos on the road, I think that's tough. And the Denver Broncos, they tough at when it comes to the home games, when they at home. So I have to go with, I know Josh Allen's a beast. I know Josh Allen can be a beast in the playoffs, but I don't trust him. I don't trust Josh Allen against that Denver defense, man. I think Denver is going to beat y'all. I think this is to be the first time in a while that the Denver Broncos will actually go to the AFC Championship game. I think the Denver Broncos go to the AFC Championship game for sure, and beat the Bills here. Now my two and my 2 and 5 matchup. Houston Texans taking on the New England Patriots. This is gonna be tough. I think this is probably gonna be one of the toughest games that Drake May might face all season. Because I think for a fact that the Houston Texans defense is for real. They are gauntlet deadly. I think if CJ Stroud look like a above average quarterback in these playoffs, I ain't gonna lie, Houston gonna be dangerous. I said it before. I think Houston gonna be dangerous. So I'm thinking in this one, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to choose I'm sorry, Patriots fans, but I'm gonna have to choose the Houston Texans to beat y'all. I'm sorry. I think the reason why I choose Houston because I think that defense of Houston is gonna rattle Drake May, and Drake May is not gonna have an answer for that defense, man. I think that's why I have Houston beating the Patriots. So now let's go to my NFC side. NFC, with that all that said, give me my 1 versus 5. I think, was it 1 versus, is it 1? Yeah, 1 versus 5 and 3, and it's going to be the 3 and 2 matchup. So my 1 versus 5 is the Rams taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the toughest games. Now, Seattle did beat the Rams. And also the Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks this year. But playing one of these teams is going to have to prevail. Playing each other for the 3rd time around is tough. I ain't going to lie. I like Seattle, and Seattle is at home, of course. But if I had to pick one, I think I got to go with the Rams. I think the Rams got the experience in the playoffs. I think the Rams with Matthew Stafford is going to beat the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. And I think Seattle is too seasonal right now. They too seasonal right now. They seasonal, but they're not there yet. I think they need another year for sure. Another year. So I got the Rams beating them boys. You know what I'm saying? I got the Rams beating them. Now, let's talk about the 2 and 3. The 2 and 3 matchup. I ain't gonna lie. The 2 and 3 matchup is tough. Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles will be in Chicago. A tough place to play at. One of the toughest places to play at. To me, if I had to pick one, I have to go with, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your popcorn ready. I have to go with give me the Eagles. I got the Eagles on the road. I think Saquon Barkley is gonna be cooking in that game for sure. I think the Eagles got the experience. They got they got experience. I don't trust Philadelphia's defense as much, but I do trust that they got the experience on that offensive end. So to get it done. So that's why I'm picking Philadelphia to win against the Bears. Now let's talk about AFC Championship. Now we got the AFC Championship. You got the 1 seed taking on the 5 seed Houston Texans. You got the Denver Broncos at Denver. You know what I'm saying? But here's where I could say things gonna get tricky. Bo Nix, this is probably one of the toughest games that Bo Nix might face all year. Because like I said before, that Houston Texans defense, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like I'm dick riding them, but that Texans defense is really something. They really dangerous. They are dangerous. But if I had to pick a team to win in this matchup, people probably would say Denver is going to the Super Bowl. But no, I think Denver is not there yet. I think they need another year. Another year. So I have I think the Houston Texans finally get to their first Super Bowl this year. I think I'm really saying that the CJ Stroud experiment this year is going to be really nice in the playoffs. I think the Houston Texans is going to the Super Bowl this year for the very first time in franchise history. Now this is the now let's talk about the three. Give me my 3 versus 5 matchup. You got the Philadelphia Eagles against the Rams. Now, last time these teams met, right? These teams met. I think they met this year, and the Rams were winning. The Rams was doing everything they can to win that game, and the Rams choked it away. But I feel like this is something different. I think it's going to be a little different here. I think it's like I said before. I think it's hard to win a Super Bowl 2 times in a row. It's hard to get back there back-to-back years. But I ain't gonna lie. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams are going back to the Super Bowl this year. I think the Rams are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in a close game. Of course, it's going to be close. I'm not going to sit there and say that the Rams is going to dominate the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Hell no. But I am going to say that the Rams are going to find a way to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, either with a game-winning field goal or if Stafford hits the game-winning touchdown. I think it's going to be something crazy. It's going to be something crazy for sure. And I think I got the Rams winning. So now my Super Bowl matchup this is my Super Bowl prediction. You got the Rams, the number 1 offense, taking on the number 1 defense. Hey, guys, who win championships? Who win championships? Who the fuck win championships? Right? Who win championships? Defense, right? Defense, right? What can give Stafford a problem is I think that number 1 defense of the Houston Texans could give Stafford that problem. But Stafford also can probably pick apart that number 1 defense with his experience and his knowledge and actually pick apart that number 1 defense for sure. But if whoever comes on top, start off fast, and whoever sit here and whoever has the most turnovers is going to win the Super Bowl. Whoever has the win the turnover battle is going to win the Super Bowl. Therefore, I have to sit here and say that I think the Houston Texans is going to prevail. I think they're going to actually win the Super Bowl in 2026. They're going to be the Super Bowl champions in 2006. But that's my prediction. Leave a like below, comment, subscribe to the channel. What y'all think? Who y'all got going to the Super Bowl this year? And I want to leave a comment down below and also hit that notification bell so you can get videos like this. I catch y'all later. Peace out, my friends. I love y'all guys. I catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.